Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I couldn't leave you with just that one short game for the day. No matter how entertaining it was incredibly short. And considering that we had that huge gap of programming at the beginning of the week, I thought, you know what, when I have the time, I should be trying to spit out as many as I can. So here I am, and it follows on nicely from the previous game, because that outrageous four-way com drop, the team that employed that in the last game, also feature in this, albeit with one change. Speed is no longer with us for this one. It is going to be BC Aggressive, though, taking his place. That is the name that Speed renamed his com to in that last game. So obviously, again, they play together quite a lot. Always interesting to see. But it's going to be heavily stacked again, this time heavily stacked in their favor. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. And it is also, incidentally, this time a proper average Joe's. The last one just about didn't qualify. This one definitely does. You shall see why in just a moment. We'll call this Team 1 over here on the left, and this Team 2 over here on the right. Going first for Team 1 up here at the top left, we have Hepco in mellow yellow. He's going Cybran, opening first air. Interesting decision there from a Cybran player. To his south down here, this time in Luzon Cyanide Scion, it's BC Aggressive. He's going Aeon and also opening first air. No penalty for him like there is for the Cybran player to his north. To his south down here, we have Zoria going her customary baby pink, going Seraphim, and also opening first air. I think we've got some craziness on the way again. And last but not least, we have Wild Noob also going Seraphim and also going first air as well in Elephantine Grey at the bottom. So definitely some cheeky play, some strange team tactics being employed right from the outset from Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2. Up here at the top right, we have Creepio in Hallyborange Orange. He's going Aeon, opening first land. To his south down here in Baby Blue, it's Simplix. He's going Aeon as well, opening first land. To the south of him, already on the move to the middle, it's our resident Meatloaf enthusiast, Bat Out of Hell, and he's going UEF in Pontiff White, opening first land. And last but not least for Team 2, still in his base, it's Henning in Ferrari Red. He's going UEF, opening first land as well. So that's how things stack up, and you could really see how badly stacked this is. We've got Henning down here. He's running at 115 in ranking. We've got Bad Out of Hell, who's the highest rated player on Team 2 at 1,048. Above them, we've got Simplix, who's yet to be ranked, basically. He's sitting on 0, and Creepio on 115. And when you've got players like BC Aggressive and Wild Noob, you've got to think those two on their own at 2,075 and 1,673 could probably take Team 2 on their own. I mean, it would have been interesting to see, but we've got the first round of bombers out from Team 2. That first bomber still yet to emerge, though, from Hepco. He's probably going to start it now, but that's a... No, he's still getting engineers. That's a lovely illustration for the penalty that you get if you go first air with Cybran still. Don't often see it so nicely illustrated with that. That's not to say, of course, that they got all of the same number of engineers out, but they might well have, since this is obviously a very carefully pre-prepared strategy. Bomber out from Wild Noob, picks up an engineer, one for Zoria as well, and Aggressive stopping above the base. Doesn't seem to be able to... Oh, he has actually picked one up already. And as soon as I said, he lands another bomb and picks up 4 kills with it. So nice to him. And living up to his name, he's bringing in a chariot laden with engineers right the way across. So it's another cheeky little across the screen drop from Team 1. 6 engineers on board. That first bomber out from Hepco making its way in as well. A couple of engineers very vulnerable. That would have been a nice bomb, but he doesn't manage to get the trajectory right. And I think what's going on here, Aggressive is actually looking for a base without an ACU. Conventionally, of course, you would always see ACUs go to the middle, but only Bat Out of Hell has gone for this time. That either denotes to me that these guys simply don't know to do that because they are so new, or it is the fact that they know, they might have seen these guys play a game already and be aware that this is going to happen. But both of them focusing on Bat Out of Hell's base. Engineers for Aggressive managed to get one Eruptor online. but about to get slaughtered by Simplex's T1 that have arrived on the scene. Zoria's engineers aren't faring too well at all. They're trying to recycle Bat Out of Hell's starting factory. It's going to come very close to the wire with that PD, but luckily the engineers get bombed, and Zoria actually manages to take out that land factory. So that leaves Bat Out of Hell with one engineer and his ACU on the entire field with any kind of build capacity. That is a crippling opening blow. And we've also got a very early cheeky drop from Wild Noob. So this has been very nicely orchestrated here. We have got early T2 on the field from Henning. He's gone straight for some Mongoose. It's going to be tough for him to be able to take down all of these factories in time. He could do with some Lobos, but he hasn't got a second factory to work from. So he'd have to stop production of those Mongoose if he's going to do that. I think a mixture of Lobos and Pillars might suit him a little bit better at this point. It looks like Hepco is on his way to the middle with that comm. Aggressive also looking like he's about to leave home. Zoria still chilling for the moment, but of course Kirsten, the commentator, the moment I say it, she wakes up and gets on the move, and there goes Wild Noob as well. So you can see why, I mean, the metagame, generally you expect your opponent's ACUs to come to the middle, so if you can drop behind and start building stuff behind your opponent's ACUs and take out their resource option at the back, you're going to strand the comms in the middle with not much to do. Obviously, that was the plan. Didn't run exactly according to plan because, well, let's face it, these guys didn't know to come to the middle, I don't think. But still, nonetheless, they have dealt a crippling blow. Bat Out of Hell is basically impotent now. He's been completely muted by that attack. He has still got mass coming in, but he can't really do anything with it, at least not at the moment. And the Mongoose we saw at the bottom trying to fend off this proxy base from Wild Noob has succumbed to overwhelming T1 pressure. FAM's now rolling off the conveyor belt from these 5 factories at a steady pace, and Creepio and Simplex are going to band together with their ACUs in between their bases, or actually a bit further down in the middle. Looks like they are trying to create a safe hub. Henning might be heading that way as well. It's all well and good, but you're going to find yourself bottled up in this area with absolutely no mass or energy to play with. Another drop, this time from Aggressive, coming in to the top of the map. Well, still well away from Creepio's base, at least for the moment. Mongoose just about keeping these units at bay, but Henning showing no signs whatsoever of being able to repel this attack. Bat Out of Hell finally has some bases or some factories online. In come the FAMs though from Wild Noob to try and do something about that. He's not going to be able to contend with the ACU, at least not at the moment, but a horde of T1 now pouring through the gap from Wild Noob and Hepco. And we have got tech under the field here. T2 engineer up here throwing together triads. We've also got tech on the field from Simplex. Is that on Simplex's ACU? That's important, of course, because you're expecting these bases to go the way of the dodo. I mean, I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but I can't see them holding on to it at this point. And if the tech is on the comm rather than just these T2 engineers, then they have a little bit more defensive capability, but it doesn't seem to look that way. Aggressive taking a wide berth around this newly erected fortification, now harboring 3 of Team 2's ACUs. Bat Out of Hell is moving forward on the warpath though with his ACU and wants to deal with this proxy base. It might just have gone too far with that. He needs to be careful. While Noob stops all production back here and focuses his efforts on spitting out T1, he can suddenly find himself in a pretty little pickle. One engineer left working on some of this PD. And out of hell coming in, try and do something about it. Wall sections going up. And out of hell could do with a couple of overcharges. I'm doubting he's got the power to do it. He does manage to take out the engineer. He doesn't have any energy storage and now is eating a barrage of Zui fire, and he's not walking away from that one, surely. Oh my goodness, 100 hit points left to play with, but it's not enough. One final shell lands squarely between the eyes, and he won't be writing any more letters home to mama. But look at this little base. Wall sections, shield sections. This is beginning to look like more like an AI survival mission. And another little base back here. Creepio trying to hold on to his mass. He's doing a decent job. How many kills have we got on these Oblivion turrets? 13 for that one, 9 for that one, 23 for that one. But look at the amount of land factories that Aggressive has thrown together. There is just going to be too much on the field for them to do anything about. It's quite entertaining because you know this game is over. It was probably over from the lobby screen when they decided not to balance the teams, but it's just even more entertaining now because you know Team 1 is going to have to break that, and all they've got at the moment is T1. Having said that, that's not strictly true. Hepco has thrown together a forward HQ. He's starting to work on some Vipers there. Some mobile missile launchers will be able to sting at range. We have got a few buzz kills actually online, so Team 2 not resting on their laurels in terms of defense, but that attack well and truly failed from bad out of hell. Team 2 finds themselves without basically any of their starting bases except for Creepio. They're down a player and just holed up in Thermopylae. This is most definitely Sparta. If the gap was guarded by special people. But I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm not much better. I'm really not. Take it from me if you've ever seen me play. Look for your sanity that you haven't. Nice little bit of renaming going on. No, not the power. Whiskey Outpost is overrun by Mantis, nonetheless. Most bug-like of all of the units. Wild Noob applauding the central base. It is definitely amusing, a very different game, but I'm loving this aggressive opening. Yes, of course, we understand that it is not a strictly fair game. The teams were not balanced in any way, but still loving the aggression coming out from this team in this game, and of course the last as well. And now I'm reminded of Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, when Aragorn and co go and knock on the Black Gate and all of the orcs come out and end up filing around this tiny band of men. Of course the orcs didn't have a huge quantity of tanks and artillery, but the odds were just the same. Unfortunately, for this little band, there is no ring that can be tossed into a mountain to save them. They are well and truly up a certain creek without a certain implement, if you get my meaning. Zui fire. We are the Spartans, I get it now. Their artillery shells will block out the sun. I don't think they'll be fighting in the shade. Or indeed anywhere again. Impressive though those defences were, that is just too much. Coming in too quickly from all sides. The question is, who's going to drop first? It looks like Henning eating the majority of the early fire. One single solitary blaze in here. Henning takes a large hit as well when that T2 P-gen goes up, and the last shield gen out of commission on top of it. Henning down to around 4,000 hit points and falling. Krupio shouts, "No, Henning!" Boom, baby! Question is, how many units did they take with them? Certainly, it has to be said, the UEF Nuke so much more impressive than the others. My eyes. That shockwave as it fades out to dust. And there goes Simplex. And Krupio not far behind. Another very short, very entertaining game. There we go. 2 18-minute games, or 2 below 20-minute games, I should say. The last one was about 16 minutes, if memory serves. Krupio getting absolutely beaten down. The last to be evicted. There he goes. Well, I hope you enjoyed those, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay away. Stay away! Always stay away. Always. Make sure you stay away. And stay well while you're at it. And stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out. That was fail.